It always starts so innocently. A soft purr beneath your hand, a quiet moment shared in the stillness of the room, your cat curled beside you like a small, living heartbeat. And then, without warning, everything changes. A sudden bite. Sharp. Confusing. Almost personal. You freeze, pulling your hand back, searching their eyes for an answer that never quite comes. How can something that felt like love turn into something that feels like rejection in a single second? But that moment, that bite, it's not where the story begins. Your cat has been speaking to you all along. Not in words, not in sounds you recognize, but in a language built from instinct, from tiny movements, from behaviors that seem strange until you realize they're not strange at all. They're honest, they're raw, and they're constant. Think about the last time your cat failed at something. Maybe they leaped for the edge of a table and missed, landing awkwardly with a quiet thud. For a split second, there's chaos in their body, and then suddenly, as if nothing happened, they sit down and begin to groom themselves. Calm, focused, composed. It looks almost ridiculous. Like they're pretending it didn't happen. But they're not pretending. In that moment, your cat's world slipped out of alignment. The jump didn't go as planned. Their body reacted before their mind could catch up. And instead of panic, instead of hesitation, they reached for something familiar. Something safe. Grooming isn't about cleaning right then. It's about control. It's about resetting a moment that didn't make sense. It's the same quiet instinct that pulls you to your phone after an awkward silence. Not because you need it, but because it steadies you. And then there are the ambushes. You're walking down the hallway, lost in your own thoughts, when suddenly your cat explodes from nowhere. A blur of fur and energy wraps around your ankle, claws barely grazing your skin before they disappear again, hiding just out of sight. Watching. Waiting. It feels deliberate. Almost like revenge. But it isn't. To your cat, in that exact moment, your ankle wasn't you. It was movement. Fast, unpredictable, alive. And their body reacted the only way it knows how, as a hunter. No thought. No hesitation. Just instinct firing faster than recognition. And when they peek back at you, eyes wide and dark, it's not guilt you're seeing. It's excitement. It's the thrill of the chase still echoing through them, unfinished. Sometimes, though, their touch is softer. You're lying still, maybe just waking up, when you feel it. A gentle tap against your face. Then another. No claws. No urgency. Just a soft paw pressing lightly as if asking a question. Are you there? Because to your cat, that's exactly what it is. A question. Their paws are incredibly sensitive, filled with tiny receptors that read the world in ways you can't imagine. When they touch your skin, they're not just touching you, they're understanding you. Your warmth. Your breath. The subtle rise and fall that tells them you're alive, present, safe. You are the center of their world. And sometimes, they just need to make sure you're still in it. Then there are those quiet, almost comical moments. When your cat sits completely still, staring into nothing, the tip of their tongue slipping out just slightly. Frozen there. Unbothered. Unaware. Makes you laugh every time. But even that has a story behind it. A mind so relaxed, so completely at ease, that it forgets the smallest details. Muscles loosen. Thoughts drift. The world becomes quiet enough that even something as simple as pulling their tongue back in just doesn't happen. It's not silly. It's peace. And sometimes, when they look at you, their eyes change in a way that feels almost too intense to ignore. Their pupils widen, swallowing the color of their eyes until only darkness remains. You feel it in your chest, that strange mix of warmth and uncertainty. What are they feeling? The answer isn't simple. Because in that widening, there's emotion in its purest form. Excitement. Curiosity. Playfulness. Sometimes even something deeper. Something that looks a lot like affection. They're taking you in. Every detail. Every movement. As if, for a moment, nothing else exists. And maybe, in that moment, it doesn't. But all of this, every jump, every tap, every stare, it's leading somewhere. Towards something you've already felt but never fully understood. That bite. You thought it came out of nowhere. It didn't. If you watch closely, really closely, you start to notice a pattern. Not in the big moments, not in the obvious ones, but in the quiet, almost invisible habits your cat repeats every single day. The small rituals that seem meaningless, until you realize they've been telling you the truth this whole time. After your cat finishes eating, for example, something strange often happens. They don't just walk away. Instead, they linger. They paw at the floor around the bowl, scratching at nothing as if trying to bury something that isn't there. Tile, wood, carpet, it doesn't matter. To you it looks pointless. But to them it makes perfect sense. Somewhere deep inside, far beyond the comfort of your home, there's still a memory. Not a conscious one, not something they can think about, but something they feel. A quiet instinct that whispers, don't leave this exposed. In another life, in another place, leaving food uncovered meant danger. It meant drawing attention from things stronger, faster, more desperate. So they try to hide it. Even now, in a place where nothing is hunting them, where nothing is competing, the instinct remains. Because instinct doesn't care about your reality. It only cares about survival. And then there's your bed. You make it carefully, smoothing out every wrinkle, creating something clean, something orderly. And within minutes, it's gone. There's a lump beneath the blanket, shifting slowly, alive with soft purring. Your cat has disappeared into a world you can't see. Under the covers, everything changes. It's darker there. Warmer. The air feels different, thick with your scent. To you, it's just a blanket. To them, it's something else entirely, a shelter. A place where nothing can approach from behind, where every side offers protection, where the world feels smaller and safer. And if you're under there too, it becomes something even more powerful. Not just a hiding place, a shared space. A quiet, hidden fortress where your presence isn't just nearby, it's wrapped around them completely. In that moment, without saying anything, your cat has chosen to be as close to you as physically possible. Not because they need warmth, but because they trust it. There are other moments, though, where their body reacts before trust even has time to exist. Like when a single drop of water touches their paw. It's instant. A sharp, almost frantic shake, as if they're trying to fling the feeling away before it can spread. It looks dramatic, overreactive, but it's not. For a creature built on speed, on precision, on control, something as simple as moisture can change everything. Wet fur clings. It weighs them down. It steals their ability to move cleanly, to react quickly. And somewhere deep inside, that loss of control is unacceptable. So they shake it off. Not because it annoys them, but because every second of discomfort feels like a second of vulnerability. And then there are the moments when you're not even looking at them at all. You're focused on your phone, your attention pulled into that glowing screen, your world narrowed down to something small and distant. And without warning, your cat steps in. Literally. Their face presses against your phone, blocking your view, pushing themselves between you and whatever has captured your attention. At first, it feels almost selfish, demanding. But it's more complicated than that. Your phone smells like you. It carries your warmth, your presence, your time. To your cat, it's not just an object. It's something important. Something that has your attention in a way they suddenly don't. So they respond in the only way they know how. They insert themselves into the moment. They rub against it, marking it, blending their scent with yours until it no longer feels separate. Until it becomes part of their world too. Because in their mind, anything that matters to you should include them. Even the quietest habits carry meaning. Like when your cat sits down and begins chewing on their own claws. Slowly, carefully, pulling at them with a focus that feels almost human. It might look like anxiety, like something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. They're maintaining themselves. Removing what no longer serves them, revealing something sharper underneath. It's patient, intentional, necessary. Not everything intense is a problem. Sometimes, it's just care. And then there are the moments that catch you off guard in a completely different way. When you're resting still, maybe drifting somewhere between sleep and awareness, and suddenly your cat is in your hair. Paws tangled, teeth pulling gently, completely absorbed in something you didn't even realize was moving. To you it feels random. To them it feels alive. Every shift of your head, every strand that slides across the pillow, creates movement that triggers something ancient. Something immediate. The same instinct that drives them to chase, to catch, to hold on. But sometimes, it's softer than that. Sometimes the biting is gentle, slow, almost careful. And in those moments, it's not about hunting at all. It's about connection. Because in their world, grooming isn't just about cleaning. It's about belonging. About taking care of something that matters. And somehow, in their own way, they've decided that includes you. Even if it doesn't always feel gentle. And then, maybe the strangest one of all, is when they turn away from you completely. They sit beside you, close enough that you can feel their presence, and then they face the opposite direction. No eye contact. No acknowledgement. Just their back, presented to you without hesitation. It feels like rejection. Like they're ignoring you. But it's the opposite. Because in that position they're vulnerable. They can't see you. They can't track your movements. They've given up control in a way that goes against everything their instincts are built on. And yet, they do it anyway. Without fear. Without doubt. Because somewhere along the way they decided you weren't something they needed to watch. You were something they could trust. And all of this, every quiet instinct, every strange habit, it's building towards something deeper, something more intense. A line that, once crossed, changes the moment completely. Because even trust, even affection, has its limits. And when that limit is reached, your cat doesn't walk away. They react. It doesn't feel like a warning when it happens. There's no dramatic shift, no obvious signal that something has changed. Just your hand moving slowly through their fur, the soft rhythm of touch and breath, the quiet comfort of a moment that feels completely safe. Your cat is there with you, relaxed, purring, leaning into your hand as if they never wanted to stop. And that's exactly where it goes wrong. Because for your cat, nothing about this moment is endless. What feels like calm to you is building into something else for them. Their body is incredibly sensitive. Every stroke, every touch, every small movement sends signals through a nervous system that doesn't experience things gradually the way yours does. It stacks, quietly, invisibly, until suddenly, without warning, the feeling changes. Pleasure turns into too much. Too much turns into discomfort. And discomfort doesn't stay quiet. If you could slow that moment down, really watch it as it unfolds, you'd see it. The subtle shifts that happen just before the bite. A flick in the tail, almost like a ripple passing through water. The ears turning slightly, pulling back just enough to say something isn't right. The skin along their back twitching under your hand, like their body is trying to shake something off that you can't even feel. They told you. You just didn't hear it. Because their language isn't loud. It doesn't interrupt you. It doesn't demand your attention the way human signals do. It whispers. It hints. It gives you chances to notice, and when those chances pass unnoticed, it has only one way left to make itself clear. The bite. Not out of anger. Not out of betrayal. But out of necessity. In that instant, your cat isn't thinking about hurting you. They're ending something that has gone too far. Is the final line, the clearest message they can give when everything else has failed. Stop. And the moment it happens, everything changes again. You pull your hand away. Your heart jumps. Confusion rushes in, mixing with a quiet sting of something deeper. Something almost emotional. Because it didn't feel like a boundary. It felt personal. But it wasn't. That's the part that's hardest to accept. Because everything your cat does feels personal. The way they follow you from room to room. The way they curl up beside you, choosing your presence over any other place in the house. The way they press their forehead into you and stay there, still and certain, as if that small point of contact means everything. That gesture, that quiet, unmoving press, it's one of the purest things they give you. No movement. No distraction. Just presence. It's their way of saying you belong to them, and they belong to you. And yet, even with that bond, even with that trust, they are still themselves. Still guided by instincts that don't bend just because they care about you. Still living in a world where every sensation matters, where every limit is real. The bite doesn't erase the love. It proves the boundary. And once you begin to see it that way, everything shifts. You start to notice the signs before they happen. The tail that moves just a little faster. The ears that don't quite stay forward. The moment when their body stops leaning into your hand and starts holding still instead. Small things. Easy to miss, until you know they matter. And when you stop before the bite, when you listen before they have to raise their voice in the only way they can, something changes between you. Trust deepens. Because now you're not just touching them. You're understanding them. And maybe that's what this has been about all along. Not the strange habits, not the confusing moments, not even the bite itself, but the quiet, constant conversation happening underneath everything. A language without words. A connection built not on perfection, but on awareness. Your cat was never trying to confuse you. They were trying to communicate. In every jump they misjudge, every hidden ambush, every soft paw against your face, every quiet moment beneath the blankets, they've been telling you who they are, what they feel, where their limits begin and end. The bite was never the mystery. It was the answer you didn't realize you'd been given all along. And once you finally understand it, you stop asking why. You start listening.